This tutorial is about drawing shapes, filling shapes, and morphing shapes. I'm going to start by adding a star. 5 points. This is the bounding box. To show capability, I'm going to change the border thickness from 1 to 2. The border color from black to gray. I'm going to get rid of the fill. No fill, as you see, it's same as the background color. And change it back and change the fill color to a different color. And to show different capability of fills, I'm going to change it to an image fill. Now, this star shape with an image fill is one way of adding an image to the stage. Another way, the simpler way, if it's just a standard rectangular shape, is to select this icon right here, and the rectangle will be properly sized to the image. But here I'm adding an image fill to an odd shape. I'm going to change how the image is located within that fill by shifting it, and I'm going to rotate the image. And a third way of filling a shape is gradient color. So I'm going to change the lower white band to that color, and I'm going to change, I'm going to change the black band to that color. And this is a bug that should have updated. I'll fix it in a new release. And I could change from a linear to a radial gradient. I could rotate the gradient, scale the gradient, or shift the gradient. And I can change these band colors by using these sliders, RGB or hue HSL. Apply. Another way of drawing is point by point. Click, release, click, and if I want to add curvature, don't release and move the mouse. Release to fix the point, click, move the mouse to apply curvature, release, click, move the mouse, release. And now if I don't want to apply curvature, just click and then double click to finish. If I want to apply curvature to the curve, I click on this icon, and as I approach the curve, the icon changes. And I click to add the point, and I move the mouse with the mouse depressed to apply the curvature. And if I want to delete a point, I select this point arrow, point selection, and I select the point and I delete. And that looks funny, so let me add curvature. Okay, good. Now to draw like you would with a pencil, I select this icon. And the density of points is determined by this preference, freehand drawing. It's set up to medium, and if I select low, it will be minimum number of points and minimum file size, and it'll be smoother. If I select high, it'll be the highest number of points and it'll be a larger file size. I want to change this shape in different frames. So in other words, I want to move these vertex points. In order to do that, I need to make sure that the star shape is not a symbol. If it were a symbol and I move these points, the change would be reflected in all frames. So in fact, it isn't a symbol. And if I want to set it up globally, I can do that using preferences. Drawing selection and draw shapes as symbols is unchecked. So in fact, none of these shapes are symbols. I'm adding a second keyframe, and everything's the same in both frames. First frame, second keyframe. In the second keyframe, I'm going to change some of these vertices. And I'm going to change this fill color. And I'm going to change this size. Transforms. Let's do squish. Okay, now let's play it. I could also change that position. Okay. Now if I wanted that to play slower between the first and second frame and smoother, I can change the number of tweens between this frame and the second frame. Tweens is equivalent to time if you take the frames per second rate the movie rate frames per second into account. So I'm going to change that time to that, and in fact that is equivalent to 60 tweens. So when I play it, it'll be slower and smoother. And this can be done on a frame-by-frame basis. So each frame can have a different number of tweens. To illustrate another point, I'm going to add 2 more keyframes. And I'm just going to make some changes here. Okay, so going backwards, those are the changes, and let's play it. Okay, good. And just to illustrate some interesting functionality, which is useful if you're cartooning, it's called onion skinning, and it will show the differences between the different frames using transparency. So the current frame will have a full transparency, and each succeeding frame will have less transparency. And that's it for now.